just so that, you know, for it's nice and grounding for all of us that's watching. So for you listeners, this is for you as well as for me and Robin. I mean, Robin said she was good, but I'm ready. I need the grounding. So I love doing this, and I feel like now I want to include you all because I usually do it before with all our experts. So everyone, just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath into your belly and blow it out gently. And then take a second deep breath as far into your belly as you can. And then blow it out. And then take that third deep breath and just make it a little lighter and easier and let it come out more normally. And then you're going to see these roots, these light roots, like light channels going down from your feet, going into the earth and cutting through the layers of the soil. And going down deep into the earth and heading toward that giant golden crystal, which is how I visualize the center of the earth. So you're heading, all those channels of light are heading towards that giant golden crystal. And when you connect with it, we're going to meld together and become one. And then the wonderful Mother Gaia is going to send up her golden white crystalline light. And it's going to start flowing up through those layers of the earth and flow up through the earth and coming up through the bottom of our feet, going up our legs, up into our torso, then up our arms, up onto our chest. And then it's going to go up through your throat and your head and out your crown. And you see it going out the roof of your house. And see this going all the way up into the universe, off planet, as far as you can go. And you look for this star that's twinkling at you. This beautiful star is your particular star. See it as far, it could be very far away. It could be close off planet. Just see it in the galaxy, go towards it and connect with it. It's like a beacon calling you to it. And once you connect with that beautiful twinkling light, you've connected with your monad, your family, your monadic family, which is your guides and your beings of light who are here for you as your guides and angels. And then see that energy, that beautiful light coming down from them with the cosmic flush. It's going to come back down to the earth, coming down through the galaxy and down into the earth atmosphere and down through the roof of our house and into the crown of your head. And this energy, this crystalline white light is going to flush any low or dense vibrating energies down your body. See anything stuck or dense flowing down your body and down your legs and out your feet. It's going to flow down those channels of light towards this fiery ring that surrounds Mother Gaia, the crystal. And see it flowing down into that crystal and towards that fiery ring of light, and see it flow into that river of light and burn up and transmute into beautiful energy of light. So now I want you to just touch your heart, connect with your heart, and feel this beautiful energy that we've just cleared out and created space for, and see this beautiful seed of golden light just start radiating from inside you out. And this is your God light connecting with you and radiating out around you, out through all your limbs and all through your cells, and filling you up with this golden light of love. This is God loving you, and this is you loving you. And see it radiating around you with this beautiful golden light, this beautiful sacred space. It's like an egg around you. And now you've created this space that we're going to have some beautiful sharing going on with Robin, and you can just open your eyes slowly and come back into your body. All right. Are you back, Robin?
I am. Thank you.
You're welcome. We've created the infinity loop between the earth and our sacred monad, and that beautiful infinity loop that we're all connected in. So as I said, Robin and I now have been friends for a few years, and I'm so blessed. And I still have a lot to learn about you. I don't know all your stuff. I don't know all your journey. So your journey to becoming a healer, I really haven't heard it. So I know you're a very successful business owner. You've been, and you've retired from that. And during all that time when you were creating that business and were so successful and you were the CEO, you also now during that time found time to study and open the door to this whole other aspect of you, your divine self. So can you tell us how that you got onto that spiritual path?
Well, for me, it's pretty interesting because as I was becoming successful in the industrial corporate world, the world where money is important, working really hard, emphasis on hard is so important, I found myself breaking. I found my body falling apart. I had witnessed both of my parents with cancer very young. My father with lung cancer and a brain tumor at 40. My mom with uterine cancer at 60. I had seen suffering in so many different ways.
Mm.
And at a certain point, I felt like that was my path, my journey, that I was going to follow the same path that my parents did. And so when I could barely walk, when I knew I was sick and I could no longer maintain what I was doing, I searched for healers. I originally went to doctors who told me I was crazy. I went to different types of therapies and I couldn't find a way.
Mm.
My first integration with healing really was a type of physical therapy because I could barely walk. And so I went to a physical therapist for my hip. What happened was they had abilities that stayed in the closet, that were only found through word of mouth.
Mm.
They had a school that after 2 years of my own therapy, the wonder of all that was going on within me, beside me on tables, the healing that I witnessed, the healing that I felt, I became so thrilled, ecstatic with this, and wanted to know more. That's when I found out that they had a 3-year school. I took that. I took many advanced classes, personal classes, worked hours. To get my certification, I had to do 1,000 hours of my own therapy, and I had to do 1,000 hours on clients.
Wow.
From there, I tried to find everything I could. It was a whole new world, dimensions I'd never realized existed. And fortunately enough for me, I could afford to take the classes. I could afford to travel. I could go to these places. I could learn with Denise Lynn advanced soul coaching, and I could work with people who are known by some as famous, and yet, like you and I, just wanted to share what they'd learned. It has been a miraculous journey, and my gift is the ability to be able to share with others. That I take very seriously, and I love it.
Oh yeah. You have an amazing reputation. I mean, you, as I said in your intro, that you have done some amazing work on people, and you know, they've gone back to their doctors, and you can tell the story. You tell the story. What's gone on with your clients that you work with? Like what kinds of things? Like I mentioned one, but there's many more.
The one that I love telling, because it's one of my most miraculous and most favorite, is a woman who was going in for surgery the next morning. She had put out on Facebook that she was asking for prayers, and she had a tumor on her jugular vein. She was told that the surgery was so dangerous that the thoughts of being able to survive it were, I think she said 30% chance of survival. We talked that night. I offered my service distance healing. She was in Canada, I was in Connecticut, and it was amazing to be able to connect in such a way that I knew things that I could reply to her with, that she knew I connected. She also felt the leaving of the tumor. It shrank, it disappeared. I gave her instructions to make sure before surgery that she was checked. She did. For 2 years, I'm sorry, twice, 2 months, she actually had MRIs and the tumor was gone. The doctors don't know why. She said she knew when it lifted.
That's incredible.
It is miraculous what prayers can do. It's miraculous what people who really concentrate. We all have the ability, but very few of us focus on it and really allow the miracles to happen. I am amazed every day.
Yeah, it's a wonderful gift, and yeah, you're right. When you apply it, you can do it. But look at you've been focused on this for a while, and you did your own self-healing, which is so powerful. So that was your proof to you how much this worked, and then you knew that whatever you could give to other people was going to work. I mean, you felt you could do as much as you could, and then of course it's always the person has to accept and believe that this is going to work for them, and obviously she was a perfect, a perfect candidate for your work, and it was so wonderful for her to you saved her life, really.
It's really about the client, the person who is ill or has great pain, has suffering of some sort. It has more to do with them being able to find the way to release it, to shift the life, to shift the dynamics that's causing the illness and the pain, the suffering. I do very little, but I think because of the enthusiasm I hold and the ability to connect, that they're able to see perhaps through a different vision, perhaps through a different dimension, to be able to make the shift that before then they weren't.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, because one of my questions is, are we creators? What do you think of people being creators? Here you're showing us right there. What do you think?
I do think we're creators. I found the ability to create in my first business, and with a coach really learned how to focus, to do the work I needed to do, to find the steps required to make things happen, but also to make it your life. It is amazing that when in anything, whether we're focusing on bringing in abundance or we're focusing on healing, they look alike. When we create our space the way we really want it, when we can see it, taste it, smell it, not deter through anger with the news, not, there are so many things that distract us. It's the distraction that keeps us from really creating the dream.
Oh yeah. And it's also culturally conditioning. I mean, we get caught up in our culturally conditioned ways of looking around us, where now all these openings are happening where people have other access to other ways of working and clearing their life and making it better. I mean, and that's stepping into being a creator, which this new energy of the earth is bringing into us, is how I see it. That's just my point of view. But yeah, so so you took you do a lot of inner work yourself, and you took great strides in healing yourself. So do you work with ancestral pain as well?
I do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the work that I do with my clients, when they're getting into deep, very deep things from childhood, everyone talks about working with the inner child. But what I'm finding is even other therapists today, we have a tendency not to want to go to the really deep pain. And a lot of times that really deep pain isn't even ours. I've been taught that it goes 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. It's a pretty widespread understanding. But for me, I saw a shift even in my son as I was doing my work. He was, I think when I started, he was 15 or 16, and now he's 30. I saw a masterful change of, he didn't have my stuff, for lack of a technical term. He wasn't carrying the stuff that came down through the generations from me, because I was working on it.
Yep.
Many of us don't realize we're the first in a lot of generations to do the work.
Yeah.
We struggle. And struggle is what we're used to. We think we have to work hard. We think that we have to struggle, that we don't get things easily. And that's just not the truth. But it is the belief.
Yeah. And I think that comes into the creator energy that we're all tapping into now. I think this new earth energy that's coming forward, that we're creating through our intentions of wanting a better world, that because of that, we are, oh, I had a good thought and it just went out of my head. But
it is true though. The new earth energies, as we're talking about it, is really about creating the life we want, the life that we crave, what we've always really just dreamed about.
And we can create that, and we can have that. You know, I was talking to someone yesterday where we talked about, well, we live in creation. So how can we not be creators? I thought that was a brilliant statement. I thought, oh, I love that. So why can't we change it? So don't, clear up the past. We've got to get through it, and it's done. And really that's changing now, where they're saying, finish it. We could go down that rabbit hole forever, where if you're always healing yourself, you're always going to find layers and layers and layers. Get to the point where there's no charge anymore, where there's nothing really pushing you over there anymore. And then once you can get there, you go forward and you can move towards what you truly want and bring that into your life, which is what this new energy is all about. Focus on that now.
I don't even know if so many that I see, the clients that come to me, they're at wit's end. They just know they don't feel good. Many times they don't know why. Sometimes they are, in fact, really attached to what the doctors have given them as a diagnosis. That varies from client to client. But what I do find in most of my clients is that they've had trauma, they've had pain, they think they've dealt with it, but in fact they've buried it. And talking about it just keeps rotating the wheel, like the hamster wheel. But when we can do the subconscious communication, when we can do the hands-on, find where it's buried within the body, allow it to be honored, maybe reframed, then that can go on. But also to add the bit of coaching on the side, where it's like, what do you want? What does the life you dream of look like? And many don't even know what they want. They just know that they don't want what they've got.
Exactly.
Because what they've got is pain.
And that's where this whole new energy is coming in, to change our focus. Stop looking at what you don't want and look at what you do want. And that's why what you're saying is so perfect, because that's what your work is helping them do. It's helping them focus on their future, their vision, which they say there's no future, it's just now. Stay in the present, because that's what you have, which is hard because we all want to look at the future a little bit, but you are helping them get a sense of, like you said, you reframe it in a way that they can put the other issue, the trauma, and understand why it occurred in their life. What did they get from that? And take the good stuff from it, because there is something there, right?
I think the problem is the adding that we need to be in the present and not the future. What I see is more living in the past. And even though we have to unearth some of the past, we can also see how the universe in its infinite wisdom has brought all of these people into our lives, all of these situations into our lives that keep reflecting back to that first incident, that first trauma, perhaps even a past life trauma, which I have been amazed with the past life work, because it is so it's so rewarding to see that we do in fact have past lives, that they can be so diverse, so illuminating even, when we can make sense of 3 or 4 or 5 of our past lives and see how it's been repeated again and again, perhaps at different times in different people, but still in the same essence. It's just amazing that we can learn so much.
Yeah, and I think the reason it keeps recurring is what my understanding is starting to be is that we haven't learned the lesson yet.
Correct.
And until we've learned that lesson and really finally got it, then it keeps occurring in your life.
I
So,
agree with that totally.
yeah.
That lesson is what I think the pain tries to distract us from. As much as we need to learn it, a lot of times we don't want to look at it because we do the coulda, woulda, shoulda thing. And it is painful.
Sure.
To see stuff if we've been tortured in different ways, but also the ways that we torture ourselves. That is amazing for me to see. I've done it myself.
We all do.
We wonder, what do we do wrong?
Right.
Even when perhaps it's a parent that didn't know how to deal with life in general, or was so unhappy they took it out on us as children. There are many ways to have received PTSD or trauma besides just physical trauma. Not everything is about bruises and breaks, but much of it is just as traumatic.
Oh, sure. Physical abuse is like I think most people, it's a smaller level of effect for people. Most of it is emotional, a lot of emotional abuse and a lot of old, that wounds that way. Just words hurt as badly as a fist would, it's really the same injury in so many ways.
Especially when it's from those we should be able to trust and love.
Exactly.
And many of them are. From those very people that should be showing us how to be greater people, should be encouraging us and loving us. And in fact, they just didn't know how.
Right. And this is what we all learn is our families didn't know how to do it. They could only do what they did from where they were. And we have to learn from where we are. And since we keep digging deeper and going forward and learning ways to heal it and what's next that I can make my life better.
Yeah.
We have all that to share, to give people, which is such a blessing for all of us. We all, we're like one step ahead of our clients a lot of times. Sometimes you've just healed something in you and you finally resolved it. And then that person steps right in and says, I need help right here. And you're like, I know just what to do, right? Doesn't that happen?
Or those angels who pop in out of nowhere to say just the words that not only did you need to say for them, but you needed to hear for yourself.
Exactly.
And it's really hard not to take the advice you give to someone else.
Yeah, that's so true. It's almost like we're reinforcing our own learnings when we work with people. That's a perfect example. Yeah, we're reinforcing all of our own teachings and lessons that we were supposed to learn here as well. Absolutely.
Yes, most definitely.
So what do you think of what's going on with the collective consciousness right now in 2019? Where do you see us as humanity? What's going on?
I see a real tug of war between the people who are so tired and uncomfortable and working hard, watching the news, feeling frustrated, trying to get ahead, and yet really not having the time to live, maybe thinking, well, if I get this, I can do that. If I can retire with some money, I can travel. If I could, these type of things, where what I see in the circle that I'm trying to be a part of is more about, let's live now. Let's find a way to be healthy. Let's find a way to make our bodies healthier, to allow our minds to expand. Let's, get to know the world in ways that none of us realize, even to the point of, let's go hug a tree again. Let's bring back the old that was known by our ancestors before it got difficult, and bring back some of the simple pleasures daily, instead of waiting and beating ourselves up for the 1 week of vacation.
Oh, absolutely. We only live for vacation. That's what the general public's lives is, centered around a vacation, which is usually so quick that you come back sometimes most exhausted than before you left. So
Yes.
yeah, I think all about living present now is to stay in the moment and to take moments of stillness. That's what I keep finding is a huge, like meditation is rampant. Everybody talks meditation, which I think is very important and it's very powerful. And I had stepped away from it myself for a while. I don't know if you institute that in your life. What do you do to to keep you positive and keep you going with these kinds of thinkings going on, like that you feel is affecting us?
So, like everyone else, I come in and out like a yo-yo in my positivity, because I can find times that I'm really frustrated too. But meditation is huge. For me, I also like sound.
Okay.
I love the crystal bowls. I love drumming. I find getting out into nature is probably easier for me to meditate in walking and hiking and being in the woods. I love to throw a blanket down on the ground and to really interact with the stars. That brings me a lot of joy. It reminds me of my childhood, those things that we forget when we get older and become professionals,
Yep.
It's amazing to sit with friends. I found myself in meditation, sound bubbling up in me, through me, and bringing a voice out that I didn't even know I had. Painting, doing my angel paintings is another form of meditation for me. It gets my mind off the struggle and brings it back to creativity. It lightens a different part of my brain. And it certainly helps my heart.
Yeah, you have, and I have to tell you, audience, that Robin is an amazing painter. She can paint angels. In fact, she has a painting of mine, which I don't have here right this minute. I should go grab it and show people the painting because it is spectacular. And yeah, so what is your dream for yourself in the future?
I really love my healing practice. I have expanded that locally as far as to do day-to-day work with people who come in to see me, some coaching. I also really want to expand my distance work. I've worked with people all around the world, here and there, but I'd love to do more of that. I love working with children, teaching 20-something-year-olds as well as all the way up into their 80s. I have been amazed for my own learning when I teach and what I see with other people and how it changes their world. That's a blessing to me again and again. I'd also, I'm looking to have a better life for myself as well. I love to travel and learn more things, continue to see what the world has to offer. It is just such a blessing.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's so important to do those things. And this is what, going forward's all about. We can, we've got to stay present and be in the stillness. And that's what is really, concrete right now. That's really where you get the juice. I mean, to stay in the present is so wonderful, but also have those dreams and don't let go of the dreams.
Yeah, I also think for me it's really important. The cleaner and clearer I get and witnessing from my clients, the needing to get rid of the chemicals, needing to really nourish ourselves in positive ways, not just what we read, what we watch, what we eat. Nourishment comes from the love of really good friends. It comes in the ability to have faith and have trust, to release fear more and more from our lives every day, and judgment, self-judgment, judgment of others. We don't know what another life is really like. We only see bits and pieces, glimpses of someone else's life. We don't know who they are for real unless they are safe enough to show us. And even then, we still only get glimpses. It's so imperative that we nourish ourselves and those we love, and that we never take them for granted.
I agree. And I think that's why we're heading towards more of the heart-centered world, because you can see people being more vulnerable and more willing to share. I mean, so many people are opening up in ways that you never imagined. I mean,
We have to.
And we do have
We really need to.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely true. We need to create the world we want, because we are the creators we have the ability to do it. We are much more powerful than we know, which is something we've been hearing a lot. And people don't understand how much we're shielded from that knowledge until we're ready for it. And the more you open for it, the more it's coming through for you. And that's getting in the stillness, in that stillness, and being able to let the universe come through and give you the messages which helps with that clarity that you're talking about. I think it's, yeah, I do.
And to practice. Once we learn, we still need to practice. We still need to be in communities where those who know more than we do, and those who are willing to add their consciousness to our circles, is extremely important. What I knew 10 years ago that I thought was spectacular, today is commonplace.
Yes.
Miracles are only miracles when we haven't seen them before. Every day there are new, more spectacular things happening. And when I worked 40, 60, 80 hours a week, I missed so many of them. And I think that's why I started to fall apart. Even now, I still need to find the way to properly nourish myself, body, mind, and spirit.
Absolutely. It's like the airplane thing. Put the oxygen on you first, because if you don't, you can't help the person next to you. You can't be there for anyone else unless you're there for yourself first. So it's so important. Yeah, that's right.
It is very important.
So, so what do you offer in support in the work that you do that is the one thing that has made the biggest difference for people?
The biggest difference.
What do you
put me on the spot there, woman?
Yeah, well, you kind of have an idea. You'll get it. It'll come right through.
I would say I have two things. One is my teaching, because that encourages other people to learn as I've learned and really to move forward. But day to day, hands-on healing, bringing a little piece of coaching, a little bit of intuition, and a whole lot of love to people who feel lost and alone, and to people who are suffering, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, fully in all aspects. When we can illuminate what is causing that pain, they can move forward in a more educated, joyous manner. And that, to me, is what really, that gives me energy. I love having people feel better when they leave my home. I mean, my offices are in my home. They're very professional, but when they leave and they send me back a note that said, oh my goodness, I didn't even know it could be this good. That that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's what I hope to bring to as many people as I can reach.
Yeah. And that's such beautiful work and such beautiful feedback, because you are helping them, and as well they're helping you. You know, we help each other, and it's like this circle of love and joy and learning. And I love that. So there was this little phrase that I like. It's called complaint, create or complain. Somebody showed me this, talked about it, and I thought it was so cool. So how do you see that? How would you help somebody with that? Create or complain? What would you tell them?
You know, I have been at events and I have known people who focus more on all the things that they hate about their life. They hate about their job. They don't like about the people around them. They're so positive that there's no way out.
Mm,
And I think in that positivity, they stay buried.
mm,
And so the one thing that I ask everyone who I know and I work with and I work on, it's like, what do you want? And even when they don't have an answer, I encourage them to really think about it. What brings you joy? How can you make the life, again, that we talked about earlier, how do you make the life you dream of? What do you dream of? And sometimes it's simple, sometimes it's big. For me, I didn't even know I had an imagination when I started. I created a business out of nothing, more because of fear than anything else. But when I learned I had an imagination, when I connected and realized that that is the soul talking to me, that's not just coming out of thin air. It's the soul of my higher self speaking to me and helping me move forward. You have to create. To sit and complain and not look at ways to make the world a better place, our world, our individual world, and the world around us, then it's a waste of energy. It's a poor way to really drain ourselves of energy. We can do better, and we can create the dreams we have always wanted.
yeah. And people, I hope your listeners are, you know, saying, you know, we truly can do this. If you step out of the, you know, get the help you need. Like if you can't do it yourself, and there's people that think they can, but it's really hard to clear your own stuff when you've been stuck in it all these years, get it done with somebody that you trust, and then go towards those dreams, reignite those dreams again, bring them back up and say, what is it I really wanted when I was a kid? What did I want to do when I was growing up? I mean, I had a dream. I wanted to be a model, believe it or not. I did. And I was used to read Millie the Model comics, and I was so into that. And I thought I'd be a model. And, you know, I think I talked about this in another show. And then I decided, when I had a chance to go to modeling school, that it wasn't socially conscious. I couldn't do that. It was too selfish. And I wanted to be of service to the world in a better way. And so I didn't do it. And it was my dream from my whole childhood. So now I have this dream of going out globally, which is what I always wanted. And I mean, here it is, starting to go out a little. You know, we're moving slowly, but it's one step at a time. You just take that step forward. And you know, reaching out to people globally like you with your healing work. You know, people don't even know that they can trust distance healing, but you had that miracle in Canada right there. You're telling
Yeah,
people that it's possible. The impossible is possible.
I I have seen so many distance work, you know, it is just amazing, whether it's a child who's cutting and we need to get to the basis of that pain, whether it's a 94-year-old woman in the south of France. There are amazing things happening. And because I know there's so many people who think it's woo-woo, or they think it's baloney, or whatever other words you want to use, that's why I offer one free connection. I will find out first, can we connect? Can I make a difference? Will it work for that person? Is that person ready? And then give them some real understanding through that. Normally, spirit will tell me, or the universe, whatever we want to call it, they will give me something to tell them so that they know I've made the connection. And that is always so amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when you work with people like that and you get the validation from spirit. Like, yes, we are connected. We're doing this. This is actually what's happening. Yeah, I used to love different things that would happen on my tables. It would be miracles. You would see
Yeah,
people's,
it is.
arms and legs start rising up while you're working on them. It's like, whoa. It's like, seriously? How cool is that?
Yeah, we have to take the time for ourselves though.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how we take the time for ourselves, but we do have to take and make the time. It costs money, yes, but so doesn't death cost money.
Yeah.
We have got to really bring the focus back to being healthy.
Yeah, I mean, people don't mind going to the doctor, put money into taking care of themselves when they have to, because the doctor says they have to. But you can do it in this way, which is taking care of yourself now towards health. Because when you go to a doctor, it's not always about health. It's because you're not doing well,
Right.
and something going wrong. And so to prevent that even, happening, to get, even when you're just feeling emotionally down and you can't get out of it, that is where you start there before the dis-ease moves into your body. Because energy is dis-ease in the body, which you can't release. Anything that that gets stuck and you hold, we know it changes into disease. And until you learn to, get to that level first, you can stop everything else from happening. When you get that out of your body, you really can stop disease from happening. It's really that simple.
Don't wait until you have cancer to find someone who does something different.
Yeah.
Find your life.
Exactly. If you're feeling down and you're really stuck and you're not happy in your life, go to someone in the healing arts, somebody that you trust, somebody you're drawn to. Robin, if it's Robin, whoever it is, anyone from this show, go there and just say, all right, I need this help. And you know what? I know it costs money, but as Robin just said, everything in the world costs money, but so does burial. It costs a hell of a money to get buried. I can tell you that. So
that, and our kids need it, our family needs us, we need ourselves.
Yeah.
And pain and struggle isn't what our lives are supposed to be about. Joy and love and light, that is what we're here to experience on this earth. And anything less than that is a problem.
Yep, we're not the human doings that we've been for all. That's with all these distractions, is the human doings. And then when we become the stillness, then we become the human being again. So that's what the stillness and the meditation is all about. Get back and being that human being and connect with that wonder that, Robin talked about, the imagination, the creativity that you have in you. I mean, I started buying coloring books. Coloring books came out so big. It was like, all of a sudden the whole world, adult coloring books came out. Remember, this was like what, last 10 years or 5 years? Everyone was coloring. We had coloring circles at one of our holistic centers we like to go to. I used to go to the coloring circle because I loved coloring. As a kid, I always loved coloring. So go grab a coloring book, anything simple. It sounds silly, but honestly, it brings you peace, it brings you joy, and it just connects you with your inner child that's been just screaming at us to stop. And hey, I'm in here. Come on, I want to come back out and play. Let's play. This is what life is. It's joy, and it's all about being in love with yourself first. And that's what this whole show is about, self-love. And so when we talk about helping people, you have to help yourself first. Loving yourself is so important, because then you can give for everyone.
Yeah. And you need to know you deserve it.
Yes.
Everyone deserves it.
Yes. No matter what people say, no matter how bad a person you think you are, no one judges you. I can tell you, God, the universe does not judge. You're just the universe experience itself in form here on the earth. So when you are doing something is not in alignment with what you really should be doing, so stop and ask forgiveness. And then look at gratitude. I tell you, the biggest thing I'm seeing in the world is gratitude. When you start inserting gratitude in your life, small things, you get out of bed. I'm so grateful I woke up this morning. I'm so grateful I have a bed that's so comfortable. I'm so grateful I have a warm shower to take. I mean, simple things. You just start with the simple steps, and that gratitude starts building, and the universe brings you more. and you start stepping into a flow. You really do. And I, I don't know if you've seen that, but I know you do, because you're grateful all the time. And I know I'm grateful. And the more we believe that, there's so much more coming our way, when you get into that alignment and show your gratitude, the universe opens up and brings you more and more.
It does.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It really, really does.
Yeah. So, I know, what messages do you have for the audience that you think they need to know for the rest of 2019? We kind of talked a little. Anything specific, like to put it like succinctly?
I think that, once again, to nourish ourselves, body, mind, and spirit, meaning that we need to take care of our body. We need to, find the organic farmer to remove chemicals, even chemicals in our laundry detergent, in the stuff that makes our house smell good, in our fabric softener, deodorants. We need to remove chemicals as much as possible. We need to find ways to really cherish who we are, our family members, our friends, to find the time to let people know how grateful that we are for them, so that we're not taking for granted that people will be there tomorrow. Take time for ourselves, whether it's a massage, whether it's coming to someone like me who does hand-on therapy, someone distance-wise who can connect with you even while you're still doing everything you need to do. There's so much. Take a walk, be outside, find ways to cherish every moment. Get away from the news, get away from the drama that's on TV. Our brain doesn't know the difference between someone getting blown up on TV and ourselves getting blown up. We get traumatized every time we see that. If you've got PTSD, if you've got stress, if you've had traumas in your life, get help. Talk to someone that can really open up all the channels in your body and find the miracles that really do exist. I think everyone deserves to see miracles, and I can never get enough of them. Honestly, I'm looking for them every day because they really do exist. It's our universe, our bodies, we are magnificent creatures. Allow it. Just really give yourself permission and know that you deserve the very best. When you give yourself the very best, you show those around you that they are worth it as well. You teach your kids how to be better people when they see what you do from example. If they see you working until you break, they're going to emulate that. We need better, not just more money. We need more creativity in our life, more love. I don't know what else to say, honestly, besides we need to nourish ourselves and each other.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's the self-love. Nourishing yourself is self-love. And when you give that to yourself, it radiates out to everyone else. So yes, that's a beautiful message. Thank you, Robin. So I know you have a gift for our listeners. So would you like to share that?
Yes, I am offering not only a free connection, but one free distance healing to anyone who is interested, one per family. I love encouraging people, and I know that there are a lot of people who don't know. They don't even know if they trust others,
Right.
and if it's true or not. So I'm offering one free session. They need to call me. You have all my information, but we'll connect. I need a first and last name, and I need a city and state or a city and country. I can connect anywhere in the world. And then I will respond with some information, whether it's an intuitive hit, I've seen something, I've noticed something, I've lowered a blockage, removed an attachment. Who knows what it'll be. Every distance person that I've worked with has been their own unique session. So there are so many things that can happen.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Robin. It's so generous. And thank you all listeners for tuning in again to this wonderful show, and all the wisdom and love that we share here is for you and for all of us to send out this healing to everyone listening and in the world, and everyone you come in contact. When you are in this vibration, you bring that out to the world. So thank you for that. And please send us your comments and any revelations you've gotten, any aha moments. Love to hear from you by email. You can talk to me, talk to Robin. Robin, her website is spiritofthelotus.org. I know that. And you can, you'll have all the links on the bottom, as you know, when I send out the information. And please, I always respond personally from the emails that I get. And I did that all last season. So, we love hearing from you. So please write in and give us some feedback. And Robin, thank you again for being the heart-centered and generous light worker that you are. And your amazing gifts have helped people to unlock their passions, ignite their authenticities, and finally create the lives they love. I'm Janet Miller, and I'll see you on the next episode.